Now at 9, BTC Dance Studio kicks off their holiday with their Christmas dance recital. Plus, wreaths displayed for our fallen heroes.
Here,
I can explain it.
why so many fish?
And fish are falling from the sky in Oklahoma City.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Anthony Saviello. Fallen heroes in Fort Scott are honored during the holiday season. Some volunteers took today time to honor our nation's heroes. They placed wreaths on the graves of veterans buried at the Fort Scott National Cemetery. Officials say it's a great way to show appreciation for those who served our country.
To me, it means on how our community can come together to show how much we appreciate all the soldiers and veterans and the spouses of those veterans who have worked and fought for us throughout their lifetime.
My grandfather served in World War II. He fought at the Battle of the Bulge, and ever since then we have done lots of things for the veterans in the veteran community.
For more information about wreaths across America, head over to our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Meteorologist Katie Frazier joins us for a first look at the weather.
Good evening, everyone. Hope you had a wonderful Saturday. Here's what we're looking at for the upcoming days. Well, first, drying out tonight after we had some rain throughout the day today. That means fog will be possible early on tomorrow morning. Cool days are also expected, and we'll talk about your next chance of rain in just a few minutes here. Here's a look at downtown Joplin, and we are not seeing much activity as that rain has moved on out of the area. In fact, let's take a look at our radar for the region right now, and as you can see behind me, all that moisture is pushing on out, and we are having those clouds follow suit as well. So most of the region is seeing clear skies as of right now. Only folks up in Nevada area and Stockton, Butler are seeing a little bit of cloud coverage right now, but I do expect it to clear on out as that storm system continues to push out into the Midwest. Now here's what we're expecting as far as temperatures over the next several hours. They will be cooling down into the mid-30s. It will be a clear, cool night with light winds. Once again, that fog is possible. More details coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Katie. Dancers at the BTC Athletics and Dance Studio today kicked off the Christmas holiday with its 'Twas the Night Before Christmas dance recital. Dancers were able to show off their skills through different styles of dance, including musical, theater, hip-hop, acro, and ballet. Following the performances, attendees were treated to a special appearance from Santa and Mrs. Claus.
So we started our studio just last July, and we wanted to make some new traditions. Christmas is a wonderful time for making traditions, so we thought that we would bring dance into such a beloved story, and that's how we got here today.
The football season may be over for the 4 states, but the training never stops. 4-state football today hit the field for some off-season workouts in preparation for the upcoming season. Workouts began at noon and wrapped up around 2 this afternoon at Landreth Park in Joplin. In the season of giving, a few senior citizens in Texas are getting an unexpected but necessary gift. Fox's Damali Keith has the story.
In the 12 days of Christmas, we know what the singer says his true love gave to him. Well, here in the Houston area, it's a former city councilman with what he calls the 10 days of Christmas, and homeowners on the receiving end call it nothing short of a Christmas miracle.
It's amazing. It's a blessing.
It's kindness 75-year-old military veteran Tom Sullinger did not expect. As strangers stop by to spruce up and to repair the roof for someone they've just met.
And now they bless me. How? Only the good Lord knows.
It's my calling. God put this on my heart, and I'm going to do it.
It's part of what former Houston City Councilman Dwight Boykins calls the 10 days of Christmas.
We're blessing 10 seniors with minor home repairs at no cost.
Rodents are up there, possums.
We are doing some roof repairs, soffit repairs for Mr. Tom.
Greg Williams, owner of Honesty Construction Group, brought his guys, and they're getting the Sullingers' roof repaired before storms soak the house once again.
I know the rain's getting in every time. It's into the insulation. It's going in, rotting the wood.
So it's starting to sprinkle, but they're fixing it before the big rain comes.
It's coming in. I'm so happy.
It's some security and comfort, less anxiety knowing that there's not critters and vermin in their home, no water getting in their home causing any mold. To be able to be safe and comfortable in your own home is very important.
We know our seniors are our most precious assets, and a lot of them on fixed income.
You've done such a good job, and you blessed me so much.
The guys are also working on fixing this.
I had my cane walking in the backyard, and the puppy got between my legs, and I fell, and I went through the window.
We'll measure it and pull this off and let you know.
We're trying to get that also repaired for them. And we're looking for donations.
Gifts like this may not fit under the tree, but they are perfect presents indeed.
We have an obligation for those that can to help others that can't do for themselves.
This is the 5th recipient in Dwight Boykin's 10 Days of Christmas. 5 more to go.
Most of us have a story few people would believe. The principal of an Oklahoma City middle school had a student report something he couldn't explain. Jordan Frimstad shows us how this mysterious cast a wide net of possibilities.
In the depths of the walls at Cooper Middle School,
Education's the game, yeah.
there is a principal whose passion for teaching flows deep within his heart.
It's a fun group. It's a fun group.
Jason Burkhart is a leader who can count on his students.
They like to report things because they're 7th graders.
To report suspicious activity.
That's kind of what happened yesterday.
A student brought Jason something.
Yeah.
That lured him in.
Yeah. I said, well, where'd you get that?
On Thursday, security cameras caught something.
My principal mind goes to, okay, who just vandalized a recess area?
Jason didn't expect his eyes.
Absolutely
to catch this.
Absolutely not.
Did you see it?
Right there. She was one step away from getting nailed. I started off as a drama teacher, so I'm not making a story up.
Step outside.
This is the area where they came down.
And Jason.
They're everywhere.
Could only wonder.
One right here.
I don't know, I can't explain it.
Why so many fish sat on the ground.
And they were on the roof. Yep.
And did you think your students were hoping you'd take the bait on a prank?
I thought that.
I don't know about you guys, but this story still feels fishy to me.
Weather in Oklahoma is crazy.
So we talked to Oklahoma's weather expert.
That's a good one.
David Payne.
That's a good one for sure. Water spouts that travel over a stream or a pond or the ocean, they will pick up frogs and snakes.
Because this happened on Thursday afternoon.
It was like blue sky yesterday.
David says the likely suspects are birds.
For some reason, they just decided to throw up.
The jury's still out.
Pretty wild.
On Mother Nature's decision.
Quite the fish story.
To drop a school of fish at Cooper Middle School.
Coming up, how much snacking are you doing? It probably equals a full meal.
Good evening. Happy Saturday to you. I'm meteorologist Katie Frazier. We had some rain throughout the day today. It is now pushing on out of our area, and behind it, the clouds are following as well as that weather system moves on out. So we are expecting some fog to develop overnight tonight. And here are some ingredients that help fog develop. We have the clear nights. We have the calm winds, or will, over the next several hours. Moist air. Yeah, we have it. Also, the soils are saturated. That's a really important ingredient to get some fog overnight tonight. And because that rain is moving on out, yeah, all of that is expected to see some fog development over the next several hours. This is our visibility tracker showing late tonight, not any fog developing by around 11 o'clock midnight, but then as we get into the wee hours of the morning, you could see by 5 o'clock tomorrow morning, some locations getting visibility is down to 3 miles, so that's about 3 miles you could see in front of you. And then as we get even further into the morning, we could expect those visibilities to decrease a little bit more. Then as we move way ahead into 8 o'clock tomorrow night, we're not expecting any fog. So if any fog develops, it would be between likely 3 in the morning and between 8 in the morning tomorrow. Now, we do have an event going on today, but we're actually going to skip ahead that because the event has already finished. If you're thinking about tomorrow, lazy Saturday, tomorrow temperatures will be in the 50s with some AM fog, like I said, before 8 o'clock, and then after that, it will rapidly fall apart. Winds will be out of the west 5 to 10 miles per hour. Let's talk about your rain chances, also your temperatures for the next couple of days. Tonight, not expecting any rain. That's going to be moving out of here with temperatures in the 30s across the 4 states. As we move towards tomorrow morning, we're keeping those temperatures in the 30s. Wind should be on the light side with that fog in the area. Now, as we move towards tomorrow, lunchtime temperatures will warm up nicely into the low 50s, so several degrees or at least a couple degrees above average this time of year. Not looking at any rain for your Sunday, not your Monday, not even your Tuesday, but rain is on the horizon. In fact, as we look way ahead, Christmas is looking like this. For Christmas Eve, high of 59, so not too bad temperature-wise, but rain chance 40%. As of now, that could change, but it looks like Santa's going to need a raincoat for Christmas Day. Highs will be in the low 60s, another 40% chance of rain. Not going to be a white Christmas, more like a gray and dull Christmas. But hey, of course we just enjoy spending the time with our family. Over your next several days, here's what you could expect. Once again, that fog is likely tomorrow morning. Cool temperatures for the next several days. We will be warming up. Your next chance of rain comes on Thursday and lasts through the start of next week. That includes your Christmas holiday. Friday looks like you'll have a really good chance of rain. And like I said, those rain chances aren't going anywhere, not even for Santa Claus.
Santa Claus is going to be wet this year. Thank you, Katie. Residents of Bogota, Colombia are treated to an outdoor holiday light show on Friday. They came together on the city's main square to watch a festive display of lights, lasers, and fireworks, and even giant marionettes. The themes that were chosen for the event were inspired by local animals and birds, including bears, possums, deer, and owls. The show did more than entertain. One of the spectators was quoted as saying, "It united Colombians as a family, as individuals." The display is called Bogota, 10 Million Stars Constellations. It runs through next Saturday. Coming up, the remedy to your kids' winter boredom. Airline complaints skyrocketed in 2023, hitting a record high just in time for the holidays. Fox Business correspondent Kelly Saberi is at Chicago's O'Hare International Airport with more.
From lost baggage to late refunds, consumer complaints skyrocketed in 2023, according to Public Interest Research Group, a consumer watchdog network.
A lot of us might get cranky about a lot of things, but not take the next step to actually file a complaint. So we know that these numbers are just a fraction of the number of travelers who have had a bad experience for one reason or another.
U.S. travelers filed over 26,000 complaints against U.S. carriers in the first 5 months of 2023 alone. That is more than double that time period last year. And who leads the pack on customer complaints? It's Frontier Airlines and Spirit. I spoke to travelers at O'Hare about their experience.
Spirit is the worst airline I've ever been on in my entire life. I had to wait forever. I was surprised the plane took off. It was the worst seating. It was crazy.
This is our second international trip in a month, and it's been smooth sailing.
I haven't been home in a minute, so I'm hoping I get to be on my flight and it's all smooth sailing.
I interviewed the Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg a couple weeks ago. Mm-hmm. He assures me the airlines are in much better position this time. So we'll have to see. This will be the first real big test because it's actually been a pretty smooth travel year overall. We have not seen the giant meltdowns that we saw last year.
PIRG says these numbers are just scratching the surface, as 26,000 is just the number of people who took the time to file a complaint to the Department of Transportation. Reporting in Chicago, Kelly Saberi, Fox Business.
Two types of debt payments are causing trouble for American consumers. A new Moody's Analytics report says Americans aren't keeping up with their monthly credit card bills and car loan payments. Moody's data shows credit card balances in the third quarter went up by 40.7%. 4.7%, excuse me, while auto loan balances went up almost 1%. The report went on to say that the rise in late credit card and auto loan repayments shows consumer strain despite healthy household financials. The spike in credit card and auto loan delinquencies comes in the middle of the Federal Reserve's interest rate hike campaign as they attempt to cool down the economy and inflation. The legal fallout is just beginning after Epic Games won a major lawsuit against Google, essentially remaking the rules about how developers can sell their products. Fox's Emin Dingham takes a look at the impact for the multi-billion-dollar gaming industry in this edition of our Fox on Game series.
An epic lawsuit sending shockwaves through the gaming world this week. Epic Games, maker of Fortnite and other popular titles, has won its legal fight against Google. Epic accused the tech giant of running an illegal app store monopoly, and the jury agreed. On its blog, Epic writes, quote, "The verdict is a win for all app developers and consumers around the world." But what does this mean for gaming companies like Epic that run their own online software retailers? For starters, the company's store and its competitors like Valve's Steam could end up on your mobile device or your console, ending what's called a closed garden system, where Google had full control over applications, content, and media. In other words, big companies like Google can't stop game developers from selling their own products in their own stores. It also means app makers stand to make some more money off their sales on your Android device. But there's also the possibility that this is a win-win for both companies, because it's now possible for the Google Play Store to be available on your consoles, or maybe even the iOS App Store. But as of now, due to competition, it definitely seems like a big win for consumers. Google has said they'll appeal this decision. Check out more stories like this every weekend on the Fox on Tech podcast. In New York, Eamon Dignam, Fox News.
Winter break is about to begin for many area schools, so there might be a need to keep those kiddos busy. Health experts from Cleveland Clinic Children's have some tips on how to do so. Dr. Gina Robinson says use the snow outside to your advantage. For parents who live in a cold climate, Robinson recommends to take the kids out for winter sports. That can include snowboarding, skiing, ice skating, sledding, or making a snowman. Get into the spirit by making holiday cookies. Dr. Robinson says baking can channel kids' creative side. She also advises letting your kids take a break. Robinson says, quote, "Everything doesn't have to be educational," and to find a balance between fun and school. Up next, Disney's Magic Kingdom welcomes a baby elephant. Animal care teams at Disney World in Orlando, Florida are celebrating a milestone birth. They announced Saturday the birth of an African elephant calf at Disney's Animal Kingdom. It is the first calf born in the theme park in 7 years. The baby girl is named Cora. She weighs 218 pounds. Officials say she is now bonding with her mother, Nadira. Her mother was born in 2005. The park is home to various animals, and many of them participate in breeding programs to help conserve endangered species. 30 more minutes of news, weather, sports coming your way. Demands for the release of hostages in the Middle East as the Israel-Hamas war rages on. Welcome back to the KOAM News at 9. Alex Jones is asking the families of the Sandy Hook school shooting to accept a small fraction of the more than $1 billion of debt that he owes them. The InfoWars host had declared bankruptcy after being ordered to pay nearly $1.5 billion in damage to several of the families. It came after he lost a pair of civil cases over false claims, saying the 2012 shooting was a hoax. According to court documents filed Friday, Jones proposed a settlement that would guarantee the group at least $5.5 million a year for a decade. The families would also receive 70% of the money he raises by selling personal property that is not exempt from bankruptcy law. In exchange, the families would give up all legal claims against Jones. An attorney for some of the families says they are examining the plan. As the war in the Gaza Strip enters an 11th week, calls for more hostages to be released have intensified over the past few days. This after 3 hostages held by Hamas in Gaza were killed in an incident that Israel's military has since described as a mistake. Fox's Nate Foy is in Tel Aviv with the latest.
Over 1,000 people rallied in Tel Aviv's Hostage Square, calling for the remaining 129 Israeli hostages to return home.
There is no price for the hostages. They must be ready to pay any price for their release. To make a deal now, that is what I'm saying. Yesterday, not now.
The weekly protest became even more emotional after the announcement that IDF soldiers accidentally killed 3 hostages in northern Gaza. The IDF says they shot and killed those hostages, who approached the soldiers shirtless, waving a white flag.
They weren't soldiers and they were tragically and inadvertently killed. It really is a terrible situation.
Israel also announced the death of a 21st hostage still held by Hamas in Gaza. Hamas terrorists killed 27-year-old Inbar Hyman after abducting her from a southern Israel music festival on October 7th.
It's clear that she's unfortunately not the first person who was abducted on that terrible October day. She's one of a series of people that were abducted and have died since.
Israel's war cabinet met again Saturday night, discussing, among other topics, how to rescue more hostages. As the head of Israel's Mossad intelligence agency reportedly met with Qatar's prime minister about the possibility of another hostage exchange agreement.
We are also negotiating with them in another way, with blood, fire, and smoke.
A preliminary investigation into the deaths of those 3 Israeli hostages found that the soldiers who shot them acted against protocol. The IDF promises to learn from the incident. In Tel Aviv, Nate Foy, Fox News.
Another milk option could be heading to school cafeterias. The U.S. House of Representatives passed the Whole Milk for Healthy Kids Act, which could allow whole milk in schools for the first time since 2012. The act is a revision on requirements during President Barack Obama's administration, when then First Lady Michelle Obama moved to only allow low-fat options to combat childhood obesity. North Carolina Representative Virginia Fox says whole milk is the choice of Santa Claus and should also be available to school children. The bill now heads to the Senate. Still ahead, meteorologist Katie Frazier has a full look at the forecast.
Good evening, I'm meteorologist Katie Frazier, and I hope you had a wonderful day. We're looking at our winds across the 4 states, and they are calm, and as long as they stay calm, that's really going to help some fog form over the coming hours. So if you're baking cookies tonight, we can expect some fog to develop after, I think, 10 o'clock, really after midnight tonight. Temperatures will be in the 30s, so certainly chilly if you're going to be heading out for a night on the town. We had some rain across our area earlier today. It is now pushing off to the east towards the Midwest, and yeah, we're not expecting actually rain for the next several days, but fog is in our forecast. So let's take a look at our visibility tracker over the next several hours. By even 11 o'clock tonight, we're not looking at much fog development, but I would say there could be some patchy fog that will develop by that time. Sunday morning, 5 o'clock, you could see visibilities. This is in miles that you could see. In Miami, down to 3 miles. Carl Junction at 6 miles. So we will have patchy fog. It's not going to be that thick fog that you really can't see much in front of you. And then even through the 7 o'clock hour, maybe some areas seeing even lower visibility. So patchy fog is expected. It shouldn't be too dense around the area, but still you want to make sure you take it easy on the roads and pay attention to the folks driving in front of you. As far as rain goes, we're not looking at any rain chances for the next 36 hours. If we do, it would be very light, I would say, but we're expecting mostly clear skies, so I'm really saying 0% chance of rain. Here's a look at our latest future track model. This is 10 o'clock tonight. You're seeing winds out of the northwest, light, and temperatures in the 30s. We will cool down to the low 30s over the next several hours, expecting clear skies tomorrow morning with some fog development. As we move throughout the day tomorrow, you could expect Mostly clear skies again, temperatures warming up to the 50s across the region. No rain expected for your Sunday, not for your Monday, not even for your Tuesday of this upcoming week. Here's a look at your temperature trend tomorrow from 7 o'clock. Temperatures in the 30s, warming up to the mid-50s tomorrow. Not too bad for this time of year. And let's take a look at your 7-day forecast. So cool weather expected with temperatures in the mid-50s, some days in the upper 40s. We will be warming up though. And then as we see our rain chances move back into the region, we will have our temperatures even feel warmer. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, all the way into the holiday weekend, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, we're all looking at rain chances. As you can see, it does look like Christmas is going to be not a white one, but a gray one. And Santa Claus, or I should turn this way, Santa Claus, he's going to be a little bit wet out there. It's okay. I'm sure he's been through all types of weather, even blizzards as well. So just expect cool temperatures over the next couple days, dry, but then by the end of this upcoming week, those rain chances will return across the 4 states.
All right, thanks, Katie. I wish it was snowing. I could use some snow right now. Coming up in sports, Brock Baldriz is in the building with the latest highlights. PSU women's basketball sits at 8-1 as they look to take on UNC. That and more coming up.
The Pittsburgh State women's basketball team comes into the day with an 8-1 record. The Gorillas are coming off of 2 straight wins, and now Pittsburgh State faces the top-ranked team in the MIAA. Pitt State on the road facing the Central Missouri Ginnies this afternoon. Early in this game, Grace Pyle picks up right where she left off from last week's game. Nothing but net there. 3-point shot is good. Pitt State leads 3-0. Central Missouri showing that they can shoot the 3 ball as well. Olivia Nelson gets that one to go from the corner. Then Nelson again, back-to-back threes. Central Missouri is up 8-5. In the end of the first quarter, it's UCN that leads by 7, but in the second quarter, Macy Mays from Pitt State is open in the corner. She knocks it down, and that cuts it to a 2-point game. Later in the half, Central Missouri's Ashley Toll gets the bucket underneath. And the Ginnies lead 44-33 at halftime, but Pittsburgh State comes all the way back to win this game in overtime, 101-93. This was also the 100th career win for Pitt State head coach Amanda David. Over to Missouri Southern women's basketball now. The Lions are coming off of a win over UCM themselves. Lions take care of business against Lincoln, winning this game 76-57. Maggie Saki led the way with 15 points, and Caitlin Honeycutt just does her thing. 14 points for her tonight. Southern back at it on the road next Tuesday against Drury. Over to the Missouri Southern men now. The Lions are also facing the Lincoln Blue Tigers. Missouri Southern led by 5 points midway through the second half, but they just couldn't finish. Lincoln goes on a big run to win this game 76-65 as the Lions fall to 4-8 on the season. However, Avery Tagger and Darius Dawson each scored in double figures. Well, we move from college basketball to high school hoops now, and that is the case for the Kenneth Shooter Invitational Tournament. That wraps up in Welch, Oklahoma. In the first place game, we get a couple of rivals going head-to-head. Wyandotte versus Quapaw. First place trophy is on the line for each team. We start things off in the first quarter. Lady Wildcats down by 5, but their first bucket comes from Annie Chuckluck. Look at that ball bouncing around the rim, and it finally goes in. Wyandotte looking to answer that. Lady Bears are up by 1, but Haley Jones gets this one from beyond the arc, and she nails it. Wyandotte leads by 4. A few possessions later, it's going to be Haley Jones again who finishes this one with a layup. Wyandotte feeling pretty good about themselves, going into halftime with a 10-point lead, but Quapaw, they're still in this. Nice pass there to Naomi Daughtery, who puts it in, cuts the Wyandotte lead down to 8. Later in the half, Lakin McCoy is going to find the open lane and get the layup. Lady Bears are trying to protect their lead, and under 2 minutes left to go in the game. It's a 5-point game. Avery Atokni gets a huge 3 there to make it a 2-point game. Quapaw looking to tie the game up with 30 seconds left. And that shot there is no good. Wyandotte is fouled. They make their free throws, and the Lady Bears hold on as Wyandotte defeats Quapaw 36-34, and they are this year's first place winners in the Suitor Invitational. So after the girls' game, the boys' teams take over the court. Baxter Springs and Fairland go head-to-head. Fairland gets the job done as the Owls win this game 65-45. Fairland wins first place in the Suitor Invitational. Baxter Springs finishes in second place. Well, the Kansas Jayhawks are only 3 more non-conference games away remaining until the Big 12 conference play begins. Kansas heads to the Hoosier State for their first true road game of the season. Kansas versus Indiana in the second half. Hoosiers are up by 8. Trey Galloway drains that one for 3 there. Indiana leads by 11, but if you're Kansas, you know what's coming. Big bucket here as we see DeJuan Harris misses it, but Hunter Dickinson gets it to go, all 7 feet and 2 inches of him. Jayhawks make it a 3-point game. Later in the half, game tied 64-piece now, and Kevin McCullough gives Kansas the lead with that shot. Then later, DeJuan Harris goes to work and gets this one to go off the glass. You can chalk it up. Kansas beats Indiana on the road 75-71. Let's look for sports. We're back right after this.
2023 has had no shortage of amazing, cute, and silly moments, particularly from our four-legged friends. Here's a look back at some of the great animal videos from this year. Up next, more animals. We celebrate a special birthday for one of the polar bears at the Brookfield Zoo. Everyone wish Hudson a happy birthday. A popular polar bear from the Brookfield Zoo turned 17 Thursday. The teenage bear was treated to a savory herring cake and a sweet ice treat with raisins. Later, Hudson played with a large decorated barrel, which is one of his favorite enrichment toys. Save a piece of that cake for me, Hudson. Love a good herring ice block. That's our time tonight. Thanks for joining us. We'll leave you with video of Christmas lights in Fort Scott, Kansas. We'll see you back here next time. Thanks for making us a part of your night.